Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with today editorial. Sorry for not uploading the yesterday editorial because I was not well. I was just suffering from some. I'm not feeling well and need some rest. That's why I'm not able to continue the yesterday editorial. Sorry for that. But as I promised, uh, I will continue this editorial. I have covered the yesterday's news also. The editorial might be a little bit long, so just stay connected. Stay tuned. I will just try to complete within 40 minutes. I just cover all the important headlines and important articles today. So let's start with a recap. The front page covering the BJP scout for a new CMs in Manipur after Biren exist. Trump proposes a tariff on steel aluminium imports. Second one is covering about the Aero India is the Kumbh of research, says Rajnath Singh. And the Bangladesh crackdown on Hasina loyalists, 1300 held. Third one is the editorial about India's as a bridge between global north and south. We'll see in detail how is it. Fourth one is India's opportunity to AI Action Summit and the problem of regulating live-in relationship. These are opinions in Hindus. Sixth one is about the editorial that is from yesterday at article. An aerospace expo to the further India's global presence. Seventh one is covering about the case register after the row breakout over the YouTuber comments, and this is viral in every YouTube newses and everywhere, and also in Hindu newspaper. And a small corner news about a gift horse teeth. Eighth article is about these are yesterday articles that I found important, so I added it. Plan to amend the nuclear ability law may accuse the American French firms in pole bound Meghalaya rat hole coal mining hopes ride on Article 371. So let's start covering with the front page. It's about the BJP scouts for a new CM in Manipur after the Biren exist. So after the resignation of the Manipur CM Biren, there is a BJP scout for new CMs. So the chief minister resigned and chief minister of Manipur, the Bharatiya Janata Party began scouting for his successor. So Samita Patra, in charge of BJP in Manipur, held the separate closed door and MLAs bearing 7 belonging to the Kuki-Zo community. There is the sub communities like Kuki-Zo, Mighty, and there is a he also met MLA and Naga People Front of Ali BJP and Manipur Security Advisor. These all are related to the incident happening in Manipur where there is a road rally of women are naked roaming around there, and some there is mishappening happens. There is a protest all over. That's why everyone demanding the resignation of the CM there. So the Manipur discussion was fast for reconciliations and bringing back peace in Manipur, Minister of Municipal Administration and Yamunan Kheman told journalists. So this is Education Minister Thanjom and the MLA Thokchom Radhasyam, the last two former IPS officer. The state Congress said it would oppose any move to a president rule in Manipur to place assembly under a suspended animations and beyond the safeguarding democracy in state, said the President Keshav Chandra. So second news is about the Trump proposes a tariffs on the steel aluminium imports. So how much aluminium and steel imports was proposed by tariff? There is a 25% tariff in all steel aluminium imports, including from the Canada and Mexico as well, and the import duties later in the any week. So the Air Force Sunday on Air Force he flew from Florida to New Orleans to attend the Super Bowl, and when asked to aluminium to responded aluminium too. There is a Canada, China, Mexico, it's 73.3 billion, and Mexico $18.5 billion. So the US would impose import duties on product in the case which another country has levied duties. If there is a charging 130%, then nothing, we not going to stay away. So the steel and aluminium duties, the reciprocal tariffs. So India may offer a lower duties to pacify Trump. With the Prime Minister Narendra Modi hold a bilateral talks with US President, which will be likely intense the parlays and tariffs in India could offer fresh cuts import duties such as uniquely American pecan nut growth in southern western states. Second page is covering It's about the Aero India is the Kumbh research of, says Rajnath Singh. This is going to happen in the Yelahanka, Bangalore Air Force Station, and there is a showcase of Mahakumbh showcase of culture of India's. Aero India will display the power of India, and he added that addition with Asia's biggest aerospace and defense exhibitions showcase next 5 days, and India aerial provenance and indigenous cutting edge innovations alongside with state art of global product. So it's the Kumbh of the research, the biennial year show under the IHECA Bangalore, and this is the India come with the many high tech products such as Astra missile. That what type of missiles they are coming to? High tech product like Astra missiles, new generation Akash missile, autonomous underwater vehicle, unmanned surface vessel, Pinaka guided rocket. These were being manufactured within the country. So it's a Surya Kiran aerobatic team of India Air Force performed their iconic red white hawk. Just remember this name, MK-132 jet. Why during the inaugurations help with this Aero India 2028 Yelahanka Air Force Station, Bangalore. So the Bangladesh crackdown on Hasina loyalists 1300 hell. So this is Operation Devil Hunt operating targeting a gangs allegedly connected to the outside regime of Sheikh Hasina, and Mr. Hasina was outside in August 2024, where the student led the protest and has vowed the operation continue until we uproot the devils. So the security operation come after widespread and unrest earlier this month. So moving to the next article. Yeah, one more article here is, why did the governor inform Tamil Nadu about his objections to bill Supreme Court? So the Supreme Court on Monday questions the silence of Tamil Nadu governor spanning the months and years to state bills cumulating withholding the consent with reference to at least 10 bills of president for consideration. There was a conflict of state governor and the CM, that he was not passing the bills and withholding all the bills to the president. There are pending 10 bills that was withholding to the consideration of president. So the Attorney General of India R.K. Venkatramani, who appeared for a Governor R.N. Ravi and Justice J.B. Pardewala, said the governor definitely has something in mind. So when he withheld the consent to bill sent to him, assent by government, and the governor did not communicate what was wrecking him about the proposed law. So he goes quiet for 2 years, and then suddenly he says, I referred them to President Observe, and these are the happening there. So the Supreme Court was asking for the where was the bill was, why the bills are silent, why there is not any actions is taking there. So it's not a formality. Mr. Venkatramani's submissions of the governor had earlier used objections about the vice chancellor appointment processes and said the consideration of 10 bills assembly would have known his objections, and the court reserved case for judgment. So moving to the next is editorial about the India as a bridge between the global north and south. So it's the writer is telling about addressing the 18th Pravasiya Bharatiya Divas convention. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, today's India is not only firm asset of its own point but also strongly amplifies the voice of global south. So how the India is making be the leader of the global south countries. What are the influence? What the Global South Summit that was held last August, and Mr. Modi said India aspires to lead required the reform to taking countries to a new, more inclusive structure of global governance. So unlike non-alignment movement now, so the advisor here is Jake Sullivan. Jake Sullivan reflects the Mr. Modi visit to Poland in August 2024 shows India attempt to crew the alliances, and the cynical answer circles back to India trying to conquer the China's growing dominance and trade to the foreign direct investment in Africa indicate. Just 1 minute. So how the Africa indicate India appeared to be race with China and mainly focuses on countries which are already significant. The Quad partnership is going on dialogue between Japan, India, Australia, and US for a free and fair Indo-Pacific scene attempt. And what are the so to moving to right to forward in its own strategic trade, defense, geopolitical interests, global south countries are disillusioned with the present economic paradigms burdened with a depth and confidentialities. They were not looking for another China or new Western institution. India can fill this gap while being a bridge between a global north and global south. Global north and global south to be successful, India needs a backup with rhetoric, right strategies. The basically the global south that are least developing and in the phase of developing, basically the some poor countries, and global north, the countries that are developed already and have their own balanced economy. So what are the steps that India must take? The first is to India to double down its all call for an alternate paradigm to development cooperation, top down indicated by global north. India is often lay emphasis on equal partnership while developing the powers. In practices, it signal otherwise putting forward strategies. The newly announced Global Development Compact aimed at facilitating growth in Global South strategies. India development story as emerging power, being the world's largest democracy, makes it unique. So otherwise, India is also be perceived as a big brother, imposing traditional donor and recipient relationship. Second is New Delhi had led the stress on more human-centric approaches to tackle development, like behavioral changes, mission life. Here important one is the question is asked about this mission life, lifestyle for environment, which encourages the low consumption lifestyle, while the important need is to rebrand human centric development, focus on building human resource capacity. Global South, which is also seeking to grow their domestic industry. India's capacity building strategy is ITC program. To create a better workforce, India can leverage its experiences, foster exchanges. So the global ahead is India is called for its more inclusive global governance. The nation demonstrated this intent by championing the addition of African Union G20, and it must establish a norm standard system to work with partner countries. So India has aspired to be the voice of global South, but also must listen to be a good leader. When India superheads NAM, the country showed the world that there is a new third option for developing countries, why India should not miss out opportunity to do the same things now. So moving to the next is India's opportunity as AI Action Summit. So in early accepted France invitation to co-chair the AI Action Summit on February about the focus on AI safety of UK 2023. South Korea, that is happening in South Korea, France, and it's going to organize it is for already organized in UK, South Korea, and going to organize in France. So the article outlines how India can leverage the opportunity toward three key priorities of Global South and designing all to host next such summit: AI policy, industry, and civil society representative for inclusive dialogue. So the voice of Global South. The first meeting is Bitlichi Park focused on the safety of frontier AI models, emerging the risk of launched of AI and Shifting Institute. Second is scope of conversation, multilateral collaborations, Singapore, Japan, European Union, while with ministerial presentations through the India has actively engaged the global discourse. As next step, India's IT recently announced the plans for AI Safety Institute. So what is the priorities in the Paris? Here the global partnership on artificial intelligence hosted by India in the summer 23 emphasizes on the need for equitable accesses critical resources for AI research. Priorities is first is that India must advocate the democratic accesses to AI source over the 18,600 GPUs and 40% government subsidy. India should promote a distributed computing solutions, alternative access to innovative safety tools. And the second is India should call for a developing a framework for identifying the priorities AI cases relevant to Global South unique coexistence. Third is about the India must emphasize the importance of conceptualizing the risk safety measure developing by Indian nations and Global North cultural erosion through the exposure in large such unique risks. The Joshua Bengio led an expert report on international scientific report on risk are thus the future, and Paris and India must be called for protecting AI related harms. So looking ahead, co-chair of Paris meeting must leverage his position of Global South. Doing to this position would India idle an action summit. So what is the problem? There is an article opinion about the problems of regulating live-in relationship. So the Uttarakhand is the first state to conduct the UCC Universal Civil Code, it's Uniform Civil Code, governing the various aspects of civil life. So one of the novel aspects UCC is that mandates the compulsory registration of opposite sex live-in relationship to engage in unregistered non-marital cohabitations and provisions of well attention problematic potential danger. So well intentioned, but the protection of interest due to the child care or other household responsibilities, lack of independent income example, these are the things that is showing here, that UCC goes to some way toward addressing concerns. Children born in live-in relationship will be considered a legitimate, which improvement of existing position of law. So two, the potential sorry. Two potential problems that might arise in the provision needed. Here, first one is that maintenance provision might provide a legal recourse woman who has been deserted. However, there is no provision for maintenance upon termination. As opposed to desertion, termination to live-in relationship requires nothing more than statement, but raises challenges. So when second one is the very definition of live-in relationship is nebulous and overbroad. It's overbroad. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 and the case law on domestic violence, the UCC defined a live-in relationship as a relationship in nature of marriage, but live-in relationships are frequently not in nature of marriage. Parties may not see themselves being married in all but name. Similarly, the 1 month period provided for registration of live-in relationship appears to misunderstand the typical nature of such relationship, which does not usually formulate. So what are the right to sexual autonomies? There is a cases about Sakti Vahini versus Sakti Vahini versus Union of India 2018. The Supreme Court recognizes adult right to positive sexual autonomy, encompassing the freedom to make one's choices about whether and with whom have sexual interactions. While this is not unconditional right, being subject to consent by other party law, public decency. So, studies demonstrated that parents, guardian through legal misuse of rape laws and extra legal forms of social punishment, including violence, means frequently undermine the provisions. So, what is the provision in UCC mandate that any live-in relationship registered within the 1 month of its commencement? So while the age of sexual consent in India is 18 years, whether either partner is living relationship is younger than 21 years, the UCC states that information of relationship will be sent to the parents guardian in addition to have unjustified violation adults right to privacy and sexual autonomy. So law also intensifies the control of state over sexual choices of individual and forwarded to local such limitations as a potential for law and order complication requiring state surveillance. The problematic understanding law is further reflected on substantial criminalization, failure to register live-in relationship for more than a month, and refusal to register do so form registrar offences punishable by imprisonment FT. So, Uttarakhand UCC, however, appear to conceptualize live-in relationship as a problem to be solved through regulations. Law erodes sexual autonomy and reinforces the state of social control of sexual choices. So moving to the next editorial is about the Gaza and Trump expanding the canvas strategy. So how the Donald Trump, a consummate dealmaker, often relies on expanding the canvas strategy to resolve an incredible stalemate. So it is a typical non-challenge that he wanted a Gaza Strip to depopulate it. Its 2.3 million residents being relocated to Egypt, Jordan, while United States take over its demolition site. 4 weeks West Bank issue. 4 weeks another proposal for settling the West Bank issues. Both Mr. Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in hand of conspicuously praised Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, hinted that Saudi Arabia would soon join Abraham Accords. To the most observer, the Trump speech was chutapas of his playbook of many recent grandiose remarks. Opponents' minds coming up with it's a geopolitical minefield, maximizes opening an opponent's stakeholder. So the geopolitical reconfiguration is its truthful hyperbole only and underlined with two undeniable conceptual aspects. First is about after the patriarchally brutish and violent epoch since October 7, 2016, and second is a little nudge from friends. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia might be prominent. So what are the economic issues likely discussing here? The first is the rooted in a conflicts waged of past few years, including Gaza rebuilding 1,70,000 houses destroyed is cost to $50 billion, Lebanon $8.5 billion, and Syria is damages from 13 years civil war put around $500 billion. So the humanitarian issues are urgent and return to socio-economic normalcy would unnecessarily respective political issue. The dependence on hydrocarbon, notoriously fickle the natural resources threatened by global consumption peak by end of this decade. Uh, and also the Trump distribution, including the walking away from the Paris Climate Accord and launch of Drill Baby Drill to campaign and public call for its lower oil prices. So make one wonder whether he is a part of specific problem or its solution. The shale evolution has made the US world largest hydrocarbon producer, but the technology being more expensive is highly price sensitive. If the world prices are drastically forced down, shale technology may no longer be remunerative. However, Mr. Trump tariff and sanction against the friend foes alike has not been distributed to global trade investment flows. So the spotlight on Saudi Arabia to help and cope with multiple crises in West Asia and US and Kingdom need to be reoriented. Security in the return of oil paradigm. Biggest economy is 1.07 trillion, and apart from the hosting two well-attended Arab Islamic Summit Gaza conflict, he extracted himself ties with Iran and Qatar. So with the Saudi Arabia, world largest oil exporter, MBS has been moderating influence on OPEC and OPEC-C. A fortnight ago, Mr. Trump told Davos video conferencing that White House with MBS, where Crown Prince offered 600 billion US. Mr. Trump then coolly asked to round off. So before the Gaza war, American regional diplomacy was focused on Riyadh-Tel Aviv reconciliations. Despite this serious obstacle, rationale for Saudi US re-engagement remained intact as the MBS can usefully fund a reconstruction of war ravaged and leverage Saudi Arabia negotiated solution. So the contribution to healing the mauled West South Asia. With one more article is so the aerospace export to India's global presence. Aerospace 2025 being held at Indian Air Force Station Yakla, Bengaluru. Already I have covered it on for front page, and editorial was given in yesterday newspaper, so I covering it. So at 90th edition, the show is set to become a landmark event in India's journeys toward defense. Leader Prime Minister Narendra Modi, global hub for aerospace innovation, collaboration with strategic partnership theme year. The runway to the billion opportunity, fostering the cutting edge advancement. So rapid transformation in 1990s is the matter of great pride for this writer to witness a remarkable transformation of India's airspace. Began in 1996. The aviation exposition today evolved one of the most significant defense events with an ever increasing footprint Aero India. So the total 106 original equipments. It's 106 original equipments. Including 55 foreign original equipment manufacturers. 19 countries are participating, like Brazil, France, Japan, Russia, Korea, United Kingdom confirmed their presence, and 16 defense public sector undergoing DSPUs. 35 India's OEM, including industry giants such as Larsen L&T companies, Bharat Forge, Adani Defense, it's Bharat Force, Adani Defense and Air Force, Mahindra Defense System, BrahMos, Air Force, Ashkulian, BHEL, Electronics Corporation EICL will showcase their cutting edge advancement and growing energy in India defense. So highlights of exposition is that the world most the for first time opposition will feature two world most advanced fighter jet, the Russian it's Russian Su-57 and American F-35. These two are the world most advanced fighter jets. So these cutting edge craft will offer the aviation expert enthusiasts a rare opportunity to analyze the capabilities of performance. So the India will show the model of its fifth generation. So just remember what are the fifth generation aircraft is going to here. So the Su-57 is engineered for superior stealth and agility, and India will showcase the fifth generation aircraft, advanced medium compact AMCA, which is development stage and indigenous design development aircraft. 75% domestic content will propelled into selected league nations, and another most anticipated segment will be Bengaluru's Manthan, a dedicated platform to start up innovations, and IDEX Innovation for Defense Excellence Government Committee fostering here. So just the visitor experience in order to ensure experience for over 7 lakh visitors expected in additions, and key enhancement optimize reasonable robustry arrangements, increased applications of schedules area. Aero India's definitive statement for India to intend a damaged global leader in strict toward achieving self-reliance. Moving to the case registered after the row breaks out, a YouTuber comments. It's Ranbir Allahabadia, also as a famous YouTuber, channel like Beer Biceps. He's generally hosting the podcast, and many like it is a very famous podcaster also related to talks about spiritual and famous personalities, and he was gone to a show India's Got Talent as a guest, and there was some like the audiences there's a misuse of the freedom of speech. That's why the case is filed again there is a case filed against him, and every news channel and everyone just focuses on the words that he misuses their freedom expressions. Like he's not giving a example, he's a very bad example of giving learning to the youth generations, like so he has already shown India's Got Talent. He was already written here. So there was also influencer of Apura Makija, Samay Rana. The show was hosted by Samay Rana, stand-up comedian, and the Mumbai police said there was inquiry is conducting here. So there is a he was violating the obscene scenes and vulgar videos in YouTube. First information report against comedian Samay Rana, Allahabadia, and various other section of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita to promote the obscenity and participating of sexually explicit conversation on the show. And it was said I shouldn't have said what I am sorry. There is a one small gift of horse teeth. Higher locations are not enough to boost the scientific research. There is a potential bonanza of scientific research development. The finance minister outlined 20,000 crore for a budgetary and the global reading such reactor 2023. Another major initiative of research development department of science and technology, and these are remain undefined, exported and are. So currently the private sector R&D contribution is 36%. R&D expenditure public sectors noted over 0.3%, and the total budgetary allocation is 28,000 crore over the 3 times actual lasted here, and effectively absorbed despite of such fuel, metallurgy, pharmaceuticals. Through the government launched the intelligence of cutting edge and technological fully capitalized investment entitles the fund that what is the structural bottlenecks are applied and sustainable engagement for industry leaders. 8th one is about the plan to amend the nuclear liability law made towards American French firms. The announcement comes from Modi visit to Paris and Washington week, and government due to run to decade later for spells hope to Westinghouse Electric de France planned deal for a new small age reactors. Exporter also held to decision but call for more clarity. So there is a civil ability for nuclear damages CLNDA 2010 and Atomic Energy 1962 and French nuclear power companies. There has been deadlock due to the legal concern for more than 15 years, and the announcement which marked up the sharp position of his speech, particularly in the Electricity de France to build a 6 EPR 6 reactors at a Jatpur in Maharashtra, that was signed 2009 with the American Westinghouse Electric Company WEC. Signed in 2012 and 6 EP 1000 reactors at a COVID line, Andhra Pradesh. So just there is a 100 gigawatt nuclear energy outlay, 20,000 crore. There is a high liability here, legal standards, nuclear damages, which focuses on the liability of the operators following the details in the parliament where there is a opposition of NDA member accused of government. So what are the legal standards here, like legalization of aligned international applicable to the international former Russia's negotiated the India's nuclear agreement, disarmament with international security affairs. So the Modi ji travels France and US this week, and government has plans to amend the laws and finally signed a civil nuclear deals with US and France. So the CLND law is to compatible with inter supplementary compensation CSG, and there is understanding a serious contract. There was a Meghalaya rat hole coal mining hopes ride on Article 371. The so regional party bound to be Meghalaya. So what is the Article 371 refers here? The Constitution of India that grants some special powers to the some states and these include this was a part of Constitution since 26 January 1950. So what is the Article 371 do? It gives a special status to some state. It protect law and custom to the some state, and it ensure equal distribution fund and opportunity to certain region. So what are which states are covered by Article 371? It's Maharashtra and Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and Goa. So the special status is intended to preserve their tribal culture. The Article 371 grants special power to certain states. So Strong Pillar Kharjana is one of the candidate voice of people received the Article 371 for Meghalaya, Nagaland. Article 371A. This Article 371 grants special state to Nagaland. So the resources apart from Naga custom procedure, there is a Makhwar Paniwat constituency, Khasi Hills Autonomous District, KHDAC, where elections scheduled for February, and his Jantia Hills Autonomous District Council, JDAC, held on same day. Two tribal councils have 30 seats each, and elections is held in 29 in governor nominates as a member. So claiming a rat hole mining is a rampant in Nagaland, Mr. Kharjana said national NGT tribals refer to the coal mining activity in Nagaland because of Article 371. The NGT banned the rat hole mining in Meghalaya 2014 and upheld by Supreme Court has extended where stand the schedule Constitution of India, and paragraph 12 we have schedule allows the state law to prevent over the Trustee Council. February 2014, Nagaland Chief Minister Neplu Rio told Assembly that Article 371 has been a major hurdle in state government and bearing the VPP and incorporation of 371 to make state make the sixth schedule include more potent, and Coal Ministry indicates the provision of pineapples in West Khasi Hills. So finally covering all the articles tomorrow and yesterday articles also. So that's for today. Just let's have a summary of today's editorial. The front page covering about the BJP scouts for a new CMs in Manipur after bidding exist. Trump proposes a tariff on steel aluminium imports. Second one is about the Aero India is a comb of research, says Rajnath Singh, and editorial already discussed in yesterday's article. Why Tamil Nadu government informed about its objection to bills. Bangladesh cracked down the Hasina loyalists, 1300 held. Third article is about India as a bridge between global north and south. Fourth one article is about the India's opportunity to at AI Action Summit, problem of regulating live-in relationship. Fifth article is Gaza and Trump expanding the Canvas strategy. Sixth, covering about aerospace export to further global presence. Seventh one article is about the case registered on YouTuber comments and gift horses to it. Eighth one is about the plan to amend a nuclear liability law, main through American French farms and in pole-bound Meghalaya rat hole mines. So that's for today. I promise that I will continue this article every day, but for this, stay connected and just share more to everyone just whom needed any articles in these pages. Maybe I'm not explaining very well detailed, but if I gain more audience and if I found it that everyone is listening there and they need articles, then I will do more hard work here. Still I am continuing this, even there is audience or not. I'm doing for myself also, and if there is a it give benefits to anyone, it's my pleasure. So thank you for today. Thank you. Stay connected, share more if you like it. Thank you and good night. Meet you tomorrow at 9 p.m.